What's up? It's been a little while. I know you can probably hear it in my voice. I got a little bit sick over the weekend and I've just been recovering and resting up, but I'm back. My voice is also back, so I'm excited to go into Centuria chapter 17 with you today. And by the way, have you read Centuria yet? Because if not, I gave you 4 days in between now and the time that I posted the last video to get caught up. So if you haven't gotten caught up yet, don't worry, that's what I'm here for. I'm going to help you catch up today. So if you're just hearing about this series for the first time, I've covered the last 16 chapters on my page as well, so feel free to go check those out, and as always, read this series for yourself. Let's dive straight into chapter 17, Iron Heart, Iron Will. Let's go. Chapter 17 opens with Guillaume here, and if you don't remember Guillaume, let me refresh your memory really quickly. Guillaume is the enemy knight in Elstrie's army, but we've seen that he doesn't really necessarily agree with Elstrie all the time, calling her a fanatic in his head. And he's also very honorable. He's a really chill dude. He approaches ANGVALL and he requests a duel with her. He challenges her to a duel rather than just bum rushing her recklessly like Elstrie would probably want him to do. But he's a really stand-up dude. I like Guillaume a lot. But anyway, we start off with Guillaume swinging his giant mace at ANGVALL, smashing her blade in half and sending the sharp end spiraling to the ground below. And now ANGVALL tries to regain her balance and ignite a counterattack, but Guillaume is just too fast, and he slams his mace into ANGVALL's side. The opening tagline to this chapter reads, "These two great heroes would have stood side by side had fortune favored them. The sound of death thunders throughout the battlefield." And before ANGVALL falls to the ground, she manages to pierce through the weak point in Guillaume's armor, with the remaining half of her blade still clutched tightly in her hand, still with that dog mentality even on the way down that she's known for. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, ANGVALL is our GOAT. Yes, all of us. You watching, me, everybody. ANGVALL is all of our GOATs. It's just a known fact, but Guillaume's blood splatters across ANGVALL's helmet, and Guillaume manages to yank his arm away, still gripping his mace as well. And ANGVALL hits the ground with a loud thud, the damage done from the brutal swing of Guillaume's mace as she bleeds out on the dirt. Guillaume holds up his mace, dripping in ANGVALL's blood as he begins a monologue. "This weapon crushes organs as well as armor. You're one step away from a fatal wound. Stay put and don't move. I won't end your life." ANGVALL is still clutching her blade as she lies on the ground, seemingly beaten, for now, and from afar, a downed soldier leaning against the tree begins to think to himself, "No, Commander Guillaume, you're not giving her enough credit. You have no idea the kind of person that ANGVALL is." And we cut to a flashback where war has broken out in a small village, smoke billowing from the remains of raided buildings, and the soldier's inner monologue continues. "When I was a soldier in ANGVALL's regiment, I saw hell. The stink of corpses permeated the town. That battle would later be known as the Western War, which we've heard plenty of times before, if you'll remember. It was endless fighting with no replenishment or reinforcements, and all of us were gravely wounded." And we see ANGVALL in the past, leading a group of knights through the wreckage of the fallen village. ANGVALL had stopped abruptly, causing a soldier to ask, "Commander ANGVALL? What's wrong?" And ANGVALL answered, "I hear a voice." A weak cry can be heard from inside one of the buildings still standing. "Help me!" ANGVALL tears down the door to find a young girl trapped and being crushed beneath a fallen shelf, quickly losing consciousness. ANGVALL immediately jumps into action, yanking the shelf off of the girl, revealed to be a young Titi who had survived this apparent massacre on the village. The other knights signal for backup. "She's still alive! Call for a physician, now!" And ANGVALL holds a young, barely conscious Titi, bloodied, as the knights observe the casualties of Titi's parents from within the shack. "It looks like the enemy entered through the back door, and then slaughtered the girl's parents when they tried to escape. Did they really try to run, even if it meant abandoning their own child?" We see Titi's mother lying dead and bloody on the ground, and ANGVALL remarks, "We don't have a right to judge them. War, death, and famine robbed them of their humanity. It's devastating. We cannot let humankind's flame of love and kindness be stamped out by evil and terror such as these. I won't allow it. Not now, not ever." As ANGVALL tends to Titi in the shack, one of her men speaks up, and it's this guy right here, the one who started this monologue and flashback in the first place. "Commander, we've been ordered to retreat. Let's hurry. The battlefront will no doubt be pulled back to this town. Angval answers, there are still civilians remaining. The knight, clad in armor with an egg-shaped scar across his helmet, who I'm going to refer to as the Scarred Knight, responds, Commander, this child is the only survivor left. And Angval thinks to herself for a moment before making a decision. Then the rest of you will retreat without me. I won't leave until I've made sure I've found everyone that can still be saved. Now the Scarred Knight is silent, absorbing her words and thinking to himself once again as we return to the present to see Angval standing with half of a blade and a bloodied side, beaten and war-torn, but still alive and still fighting. This person doesn't bend. Angval won't give in, even if it kills her. Guillaume is shocked, saying, You shouldn't have been able to withstand such a strike. Angval answers, thinking back to the demonic chimera that had attacked her in the forest. I've been dealt far heavier blows. Guillaume laments, and you leave me no choice but to end your life. Even in the face of death, Angval stands tall, brandishing her broken blade in front of her. Guillaume thinks to himself, Come now, a broken sword? What could you possibly do with that? As great a warrior as you are, the outcome of this fight was already set, and my victory is fated. Guillaume rears his mace back to swing, continuing his inner monologue as he once again charges at Angval. This time, I'll crush your skull. It'll be a painless death, over in one decisive strike. Now at this point, Angval counters the swing of the mace with naught but her armored hand, punching it with such force that she parries Guillaume's attack entirely, causing his mace to swing in the complete opposite direction as originally intended. Guillaume cries out, What? How? But before he has time to react, Angval grasps him by the coat, to which Guillaume can only stammer out, Wait, hold on a minute. But Angval viciously headbutts him, helmet colliding with helmet, metal crashing with metal, and knocking Guillaume down hard onto the ground. The Scarred Knight, still down against a tree, laughs to himself. I was right. She is glorious. The final page of the chapter shows a victorious Angval standing over Guillaume, whose helmet has been dented in from the sheer force of Angval's headbutt. And the closing tagline for this chapter reads, Here stands the embodiment of Indomitable. Wow, what a chapter, what an upscale for our girl Angval, and overall, what an absolute gladiatorial battle between two of the best to ever step into a suit of armor. With all respect to Guillaume, and I know that Guillaume was a G, and I said I liked him earlier in this video, we all kind of knew that Angval would come out on top in this fight. Like, I think we all knew that. When you think about the horrors and the monstrosities she faced back in the forest with Joseph and Joseph Sr., it just wouldn't make sense for her to fall by the mace of another knight under these circumstances. Obviously, she's got a lot more to show. And the closing tagline kind of summarized it perfectly. This is the indomitable human spirit on full display. And I'm starting to think that Angval doesn't just have that dog in her. She might just straight up be that dog. Between her and Julian, 0 fades ducked, 3 monsters killed, 1 TD saved, and 1 Guillaume felled by the unrivaled Cloak Knight herself. Absolute peak. I'd also like to touch briefly on the fact that we finally got a deeper dive into Angval and TD's backstory and their connection and how they came to meet. I mean, we knew that Angval had adopted TD, right? But now add saving TD's life to her already stacked resume as one of, if not the best character in all of Centuria. I can't say this enough, but Angval is absolutely goated. Please, Kuramori-san, protect her at all costs. I have my eyes on you. Alright, now before I go, I did want to show y'all something cool that I stumbled upon in Barnes & Noble earlier today when I was on a manga hunt. And yes, it was my first day back after being sick, so naturally, what am I going to do? I'm going to go out and I'm going to buy some manga. Check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Centuria Volume 1 is out fully in English at your local Barnes & Noble or on the Barnes & Noble website. And no, this video is not sponsored by Barnes & Noble, but I wanted to let you guys know because I have been wanting this to come out forever, and now that it's finally out, my collection is only going to grow from here. So I'll give you guys updates as to when each volume drops, but I highly recommend you go purchase them for yourself and read the translations that may be a little bit more nuanced than the ones that I've been reading. So be sure to go check those out if you're interested. As always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you for stopping by. God bless you guys. I hope you have a wonderful night. Take care.